We can talk about ways to get more protein in our diets. And y'all, I have some ideas for like some easy ways that we can not trick ourselves, but kind of trick ourselves into eating more protein. So y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, it's actually a day early. My filming day is actually tomorrow, not today, but I'm in the kitchen making some stuff. So I thought I'd bring y'all along on this little adventure. And honestly, I don't even know what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Y'all probably already know because you've seen my thumbnail. I have no idea. I'll figure it out. But today I got to tell you, well, I had 3 things I was going to tell you. I remember 2 of them, which really at my age, that's kind of winning. So anyway, first of all, let me tell you what we're doing in the kitchen. So remember back during COVID when you couldn't find hand sanitizer anywhere and folks started making their own hand sanitizer? Well, I was folks back then. I started making my own hand sanitizer and I sent it to some friends who I didn't think would make their own hand sanitizer. I thought they'd just like roll around dirty. Well, my friend Dave, who lives in Florida, y'all have heard me talk about Dave. He's the one who's fighting the cancer, but this was back before the cancer. I sent him some hand sanitizer and he loved it. He said it was his favorite bug repellent ever. I know. Anyway, so eventually he ran out of my hand sanitizer and he called me to make him some more. And I was like, dude, it's super easy. It's half aloe, half alcohol. Mix it together, put it in a squishy bottle. Bob's your uncle, you got hand sanitizer. He's like, all right, whatever. Well, he texted me the other day and said, hey, honey, I need some more Dr. Danny's magical hand sanitizer. So I was like, oh, I'm not busy enough. Let me make you some hand sanitizer. Well, I didn't say anything. Well, then, like, I didn't reply, didn't do anything. So then he texted, because I was busy, texted me again and said, my oncologist says that skin irritation is one of the side effects of chemo. And because your hand sanitizer is so aloe heavy, it doesn't irritate my skin. Y'all, he played the cancer card on me. I have known this man literally for more of my life than I haven't known him. Like over half of my life, I've known this man and he played the cancer card on me. So we gonna make some hand sanitizer. So I thought, I mean, I don't know that anybody cares, but, and honestly, I don't even use this stuff, but Dave uses it. So I thought I'd tell you. So all it is, I take a jug of whatever aloe I can find. I happen to have this from probably the last time I made it for Dave. So I'm gonna squeeze this into a bowl. And it doesn't all come out because aloe's gross. So then, once I get as much as I can out of the jar, so I bought these big jugs of alcohol back at the beginning of COVID because, you know, they had us convinced the world was coming to an end. So I have these big, like, chemistry lab bottles of 99%? Yeah, 99% alcohol. So I'm just gonna pour alcohol into the aloe bottle because it's 50-50. So that'll give me an equal amount of alcohol with the aloe. And I'm gonna shake it up some and get the rest of the aloe out of this bottle. So I'm gonna do that while I'm talking to y'all, because one other thing I remembered I was gonna tell you was, y'all, this is breaking news. I actually realized this while I was editing last week's video and I almost broke in on my own. To see how it like melts the aloe. Now you're gonna see sometimes here's how you know that I never passed chemistry class, because this, like, sometimes this turns out thicker than other times. Sometimes it's all soupy, sometimes it's more jelly. I don't know why. I'm sure it has something to do with like the flux capacitors in the stuff or how you mix it or something. I don't know. But I literally mix it the same way every single time. Let me grab a metal spoon to mix this. But yeah, I mix it the exact same way every single time. And like I said, sometimes it's like thick and congealy and sometimes it's soupy. But either way, I just put it right back in the bottles and I send it to Dave. So anyway, as I was saying, before I interrupted my own self, I almost broke in on last week's video to tell y'all this. That, so you know, y'all remember Longhorn David, my arch nemesis on Peloton, that I would have to like be 100 miles ahead every month so that he wouldn't beat me. And then after the floods in Texas, like he showed up one day and then he was just gone, like never came back. And then that bent KNOT broken showed up. But he did different rides than y'all. I was obsessed with Longhorn David. Y'all know I would like look at his like he would do rides out in actual like the 3D world, and I would look at the rides that he did in the 3D world for absolutely no reason. But I knew where this man rode his bike. Like I knew what rides he did. I knew what days he was more likely to do a long ride than other days, so that I would know, hang on, I gotta pour stuff. I gotta focus. You do it over the bowl. Anyway, so I would know what days I was more likely than other days to get smoked. Like I knew. So Bent Not Broken shows up and it's totally different rides. He's in Texas, but it's like totally different rides, totally different tags, everything. So he comes on like gangbusters and never really beat me, but like kept me on my toes. Like I had to keep riding pretty hard to stay ahead of him. Well, so he was bent KNOT broken for the longest time. And then, and y'all, I know I sound crazy, I know. Fortunately, this is not the craziest thing y'all have ever heard me talk about. So the other day, he switched it to beat the HELL out of OU. And when I first saw it, I thought it said beat the HELL out of U. And I was like, that's aggressive. Then I looked at it again and I realized it said out of OU. Well, the Longhorns played Oklahoma over the weekend. And I was like, that is sus. But then I was like, okay, well, and his tag, Bent Not Broken's tag said he was in like Rich something, Texas. So I was like, okay, well, maybe folks in Texas are all just Longhorn fans. Like I assume everybody in Georgia is a Georgia fan, even though I know they're not. But I was like, all right, well, maybe just everybody in Texas is a Longhorn fan. And then y'all on Sunday, the name changed to Longhorn David. It's been Longhorn David the whole time. I know. So anyway, remember, I don't know if I told y'all this. I was really upset when he disappeared. I probably didn't tell you because I was like, you sound crazy talking like that. But I was like very upset and worried when he disappeared after the flood. Because like we rode together. That is crazy. Like I paid attention to his rides. Like he rode every day and then he was just gone. And then so he rode on July 4th. And then at the end of July, he fell off of my like friends list. So then I couldn't even stalk him anymore. So, I mean, it was a little traumatic for me. So him being back, I mean, that's, you know, it's a bit of a relief for me in my imaginary competition world, but y'all, my arch nemesis has been back in disguise as somebody else. And now he's just back. I know. So I was going to tell y'all that. And then I don't know if this is I don't know if this was my other thing I was going to tell you. Should I do another bottle? I have another bottle. I may as well. I'm going to have to find other things to put this stuff in though, to mail to Dave, because this is going to be a lot. But anyway, so we talked last week about Weight Watchers, like Weight Watchers for Menopause, and a friend of the channel, I'm not going to say who it is, although she made comments, and you're welcome to comment and tell us it's you, and if you would like to update us on how it's going. But a friend of the channel decided to switch, was like kind of lukewarm on Weight Watchers anyway, and decided to switch from her regular Weight Watchers over to Weight Watchers for Menopause, and said the transition, like getting it to switch over, I think she said was a bit trying, like there was kind of a lot to get the account to switch over. But then once she did, that she is already enjoying the new program and that she's just barely started looking at it. So y'all, I might do it. But I'm not saying you should. And especially, I don't know, I'm not saying you should. But somebody else mentioned that I think what she was saying was that she's early in menopause and she's not on Weight Watchers, but might consider it. Y'all, if I had some kind of thing that like, I mean, I don't think I ever would have done the medicine, because my doctor asked me about that and I was like, no, I don't want to do hormone replacement. Although, and I am not saying you should or shouldn't do this, but when I first got slammed into menopause, the science on hormone replacement therapy was that it was not good. Like that it was that there were a lot of negative effects from it. And I think the science on that has changed. So I don't know about that. Look into that. But yeah, if I was just starting menopause, like if there was the option to have this thing where you could go, and especially online, like not have to actually like talk to people or go see people in person, but get actual, because there were things that I was like, is that supposed to be doing that? Or is that supposed to look like that? And like, who do you ask? So if there was that option when I was starting menopause, I would most definitely do it. But now I'm like, now I'm just old and sweaty is really all that I experience anymore. But I might try it for a couple of months and just see. But anyway, I'm gonna bottle this. So this is it. Let's see how we did. Oh yeah, it's a little gooey. I'm gonna pour it up. I have 3 bottles for this 6 bottles worth of stuff. So I guess I need to go find some more bottles. So I'm gonna pour this up. I'm gonna boil all the stuff that I put, because this is all like actual kitchen stuff. So I'm gonna boil all the stuff that I put alcohol and aloe in. And I think I'll go ahead and box this up, but y'all ain't leaving the house. I will mail this tomorrow. That's probably what we'll do tomorrow when I talk to y'all about whatever we're actually going to talk about, is we'll take this and drop it off at the UPS or the mail store to send to Dave. But yeah, for now I'm going to box this up, and then I'll make some tea. I'm going to get on the couch. I'm going to write my daily devotional for tomorrow, and then I'm going to read books. So I hope y'all are having a fabulous day, and I'll probably see you tomorrow in the car going to mail this stuff. All right, so y'all sit tight, and I'll see you then for the next part of this adventure. All right, y'all, it is tomorrow. As promised, we are headed oot and a boot. We gotta go mail Dave's package. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the groceries, like all the regular running around stuff. I say clearly, I have my workout hair on. I'm clearly in between workouts. I did my morning ride, but y'all, and I know, we have this conversation often. I've not been eating enough protein. So I had to take a little break. I ate something. I have my drink. I'm drinking, trying to get a little hydration in me. So I figured I would do that, do the run-ins around, talk to y'all for a little minute, and then go back, do something, finish my rides, and then we will get in the kitchen. We'll make something. We'll talk about some stuff. So one thing we're going to talk about, and y'all know, if I'm going through it, y'all gonna look at this tree. Hang on. Wait. Y'all gotta see this tree. Yeah, I am stopping. Look at right there. Oh my goodness. I am stopping in the middle of the road, but we're just coming out the Caldi, so calm down. Calm down, Mary. All right, so anyway, if I'm going through the protein thing, y'all gonna go through it. So when we get back home, we'll talk about how to get, hang on, where are we gonna go? We'll go that way. How to get more protein in our diet, but we got some things we got to talk about. So yesterday, when last we spoke, maybe we should do this all the time. Like, we'll talk one day and then we'll talk again the next day, so that I can remember to do my follow-ups. First thing, I told y'all I was going to, I had 3 things I wanted to talk to you about yesterday, and I really only remembered 2. I might have faked the third one, but I really only remembered 2. Because later on in the day, I remembered the third thing I wanted to talk to y'all about, which was coconut water. One of my students was drinking coconut water the other day, and I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. And I know people drink coconut water. Do y'all drink coconut water? So I bought some, and I just poured, I chilled it, put it in the fridge, let it get good and cold, poured it in a glass, drank some, and I was like, nope, this is not the one. So I read, is coconut water, whatever. Supposedly it's healthy. It's low cal, low, high, what is it? I read that it's high in potassium, but not sodium, which is really what you need after you work out. So some things I read say that it's not a good after workout, replenishing drink. And I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. I like coconut. I enjoy a nice, snowball, which is coconut. I know, y'all, I'm so simple. But anyway, but then I mixed it in I'm going to show you this, you can see the drink that I'm drinking. I mixed it in my Noon strawberry kiwi. I did it half water, half coconut water, and it's good. It is good. So I might be doing that to get me some coconut water if it's worth it. If not, I'll just drink, because I read some stuff that said that and like some people call it like super hydrating, and then when you read the studies, folks are like, it ain't no more hydrating than regular water. But if it's more nourishing, like if it gets the good stuff into you better than regular water, then I'll do it. But if not, then I'm not going to pay more money for stuff that just does all the regular stuff. So let me know what y'all think about coconut water. And like, do you just drink it? Because I ain't going to just drink it. Like, if I have me a glass of just coconut water, I'm just not going to just drink it. So there's that challenge. Y'all know with me, it's always got to be a challenge. So anyway, coconut water. The other thing, I know. I had decided that I was going to do the Weight Watchers menopause thing. So like, I went through, did all the questions, got to the $25 part, and you have to, at least for me, now there might be a way to do it where you don't have to do this. I'm just going to tell you about my experience with the thing. So when I got to where like it recognized that I was already a $19.99 a month member, and it said like, you know, up, like do whatever, change it to $25 a month. And the only way to get that thing at $25 a month instead of like 40 whatever a month was to commit for a year. And I vacillated on that, and I was like, well, this or that and blah blah and this and that, and like went back and forth in my head. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to do it, like whatever, who cares. I'm already still going to pay the $20 a month, you know, even if I don't use the service really ever at all. So you may as well do $25 and just see if you know, whatever. So I was just about to do it. I clicked. So there's two boxes you have to click. One of them is to, you know, let it charge your credit card and say that you're going to do it for a year. And then the other one, so I clicked that one, and the other one was to let it collect your information. I was like, no. So I clicked the one and not the other one. And I clicked like, go ahead, whatever, next. And it wouldn't go to next without me clicking the one that let it collect my information. And y'all, this is a lot of information that it wants, like really personal stuff. And even if Weight Watchers is already collecting information on you, like if you saw my video last week, you saw that there were questions on there that I skipped, which I didn't really skip them. I just didn't show y'all, but like, think about menopause and think about like the parts of your body that are affected by menopause. Those are the questions that I skipped. And those are the kind of like, that's the kind of information that they're going to want to collect. And it straight up says that in the thing, like you give Weight Watchers the permission, like you give Weight Watchers permission to collect this information on you. And I realize that it's like, you know, that I'm sure it will probably be a blind collection. They won't know who you are, but I don't care. Like if you ask me for that information, I probably would have volunteered it. But if you tell me that the only way to use your service that I'm going to pay for is to let you have this personal information on me, then F you and the horse you rode in on. So nope. And y'all, right then I seriously almost canceled my Weight Watchers subscription, and I'm not sure that I'm not going to cancel it, because how dare they? Like that flew right up next to me, like to act like, I need to calm down, but I am so pissed that they have the gall to act like they're this like champion for women, and they're doing this thing that's like so pro women. And I recognize that it's a company and all that, and that they are going through bankruptcy, and that this is like their attempt to pull their balls out of the fire. I recognize all of that. But to tell me that I have to give you access to this personal, private information about myself so that I can get these services from you that you know are really valuable to women, you're a dick, and don't act like you're a champion for women. That is all. So, and that's what makes me really think about canceling Weight Watchers and just not doing it. Like y'all know I've been kind of vacillating on like the Weight Watchers bandwagon for a while anyway. That's why I started looking into, I mean, and not to say that Healthy is any better, like I don't know nothing about them, but Healthy isn't running this huge freaking campaign with Queen Latifah acting like they're all, you know, pro women our age and, you know, boss babe in her 50s stuff, and then to pull that, y'all, that, oh my God. I mean, you know, I might be having some, you know, emotional reaction to this, but oh, that just flew all over me. So anyway, I will not be doing the Weight Watchers menopause plan. If you are doing it, I hope that it is successful for you, and just know that they're collecting that information on you. And if you're okay with that, then good on you. Good for you. Like, then that's absolutely your choice, and I respect and support your choice. They just ain't taking that. Like, they're not going to force me to give them that information in order to pay them to let me use their service. So with that rant being over, let's talk about, we've talked about lentils. Y'all, today I'm actually going to cook with lentils. I have some lentils in the grocery order that I'm going to pick up. I am going to cook with lentils today. So that's what we're going to do, because, so is it phytoestrogen? Like, there are things that you can incorporate into your diet to offset or like to lessen the effects of menopause, and especially hot flashes, because that's what your girl is having. And like, I've read about it, and a lot of the things are things that we already do or I already do, like eat lots of fruits and veggies. There are certain veggies, like the ones, the name of which I always get wrong. Cuniferous? Is that the right word? Anyway, the like Brussels sprouts and those kind of veggies supposedly help to lessen the effects. And there are, there's flashing lights up there. There are other things that you can do, but I think it's phytoestrogen. I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's how it's filed in my head. But foods with those and lentils apparently are like high in that. So now I am absolutely gonna cook something with lentils. So I'm gonna do that. And so yeah, let's do that. All right, Holmes, don't, y'all, somebody's gonna pull out in me and just like, so let's do that. Let me drop off this package, go get the things. And I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk to y'all about. I wanted to tell you those things. I wanted to ask you what y'all think of coconut water and tell you about the Weight Watchers thing. I hadn't meant to get quite that fired up. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, I think that was it. Plus, I mean, I can tell you whatever else I needed to tell you when we talk again in a little bit, because I'm gonna drop off this package, I'm gonna pick up the groceries, I'm gonna finish my workouts, and then we can talk about ways to get more protein in our diets. And y'all, I have some ideas for like some easy ways that we can not trick ourselves, but kind of trick ourselves into eating more protein. So let me do all this, and I'll meet you back at the house, and we'll talk about that, and then we're gonna make some lentils.
Sometimes you make me angry, but I know that it could always be worse, be worse, be worse. Baby, baby, no, I'm trying to forget you. Baby, I know everything that was about you. No, I'm joking, I'm looking for the bathroom. Round and around, yeah, round and around we go. Picture perfect, but so many flaws that stopped you. I don't wanna ever see you in the same room. I open up and then you hit on all my issues. Round and around we go, we go. Didn't think you would ever believe in me. Now I see your colors, now they're in my dreams. Do I need a doctor? Do I just need sleep? Cause I've been up for almost 3 weeks. Ooh, you think you got to me? All you did was use me. Round and round we go. We go. Baby, baby, no, I'm trying to forget you.
All right, y'all, let's talk about some protein. So I finished my workout, I got on the bike. We were gonna go sit outside and enjoy this lovely fall weather and look at the leaves and breathe some air and let the felons run around and chat about protein sitting out there. Well, one of us was running around, eating things off the ground and hacking. And well, I don't want to tell you which one of us it was, but it wasn't me or Daisy. So anyway, I said, you know what? We ain't having this. We'll just go inside and sit on the couch. So we are inside. We're sitting on the couch. Let's talk about this. First, let me clean up some things that I said in my rant about Weight Watchers. While I talk about this, I'm going to stick the like disclosure agreement you have to agree to when you, let me start that all over again. The disclosure agreement that I was finna have to agree to when I changed my Weight Watchers plan. Now, y'all, I've been on Weight Watchers literally for well over 15 years, probably 20 years. So I may well have checked one of these 20 years ago. Y'all, it was 20 years ago. So this might be the standard thing they make you do anytime you sign up, anytime you change your plan, anytime you anything. Here's my issue with it is on a normal plan, like if I'm disclosing that I eat peanut butter when I'm stressed out, or that I've gained 5 pounds over the past week, or whatever. Like the things that you disclose, the information that you share in a normal Weight Watchers program, I'm totally down, I'm not down with sharing, I don't whatever, I don't care, but it's not like the information that you're gonna share if you're on the Weight Watchers Menopause program. I think if you want to get actual counseling through this program, you gotta share some pretty intimate, y'all, I tell y'all all kinds of untoward things about myself. And there were some questions on this questionnaire that I didn't even show y'all the questions. They're that up close and personal. Remember when we did it last week? If you missed that, I'll link it here. But anyway, so when you're talking about those kind of things and I feel like if you need to feel comfortable to disclose that type of information about yourself, you don't want it used to, I don't know, you know that Weight Watchers is going to turn around and sell that information to their, sponsors, to whomever. They're going to, we are the product for Weight Watchers. So they're going to take our information and turn around and sell it to somebody. Or best case scenario, they just use it to make their product better and, whatever to that. But most likely they're going to turn around and sell it to their corporate partners. So that's my issue. And as soon as I read that, I just noped my way straight out of it. I did not finish reading the whole thing. So down at the bottom it says, so now mind you, you got to check the box and agree to this in order to join, to get the deal. And that's what it is. It's a deal, right? They're like, oh, this is a $50 a month program, but we're going to give it to you for $25 a month. Just check these boxes. So you got to check the box to get in, but down at the bottom of this thing, it says you can call this number and actually talk to a human to get out of it, to remove yourself, not to get out of the deal. You still got to pay $25 a month for a year, but to opt out of sharing your information. So they make it easy to opt in, and I didn't do it. I didn't opt in, I didn't upgrade my thing. So I don't know how easy it is or isn't to call and talk to a human to opt out of it. But to me, having to actually call somebody automatically makes it not as easy. So you can get out of it. It's just not as easy as getting into it. So now that that mess is cleaned up, let's move on. Let's talk about protein. I want to talk about how we can eat. I have notes because I've already been yapping for 30 minutes, y'all. So I have notes. I'm going to stick to my notes and we're going to talk about how we can add protein. I feel like how we can find places to sneak in protein to our diets without completely overhauling our eating plans. First of all, why am I so obsessed with protein? What's the big deal? And y'all, you've heard it. We've talked about this all before. I'm not going to go all the way down the rabbit hole, but it fills you up. It satiates you so that you're fuller, longer, and it kind of evens out your blood sugar. So you don't get those highs and lows. You don't get the spikes. And so hopefully it helps you not have cravings. Depending on your metabolism and depending on what you're doing, it can boost your metabolism. So it can increase your metabolism and help you to maintain your muscle mass. If you're working out and trying to lose weight, you got to worry about maintaining your muscle mass. So protein definitely helps you do that. So protein is our friend. How much protein should you be getting? It's an exceptionally good question to which there is not a good, well, there are good answers. There's just not an easy answer. So there are some 0.8 grams to every kilo of body weight or something. I know, we don't speak metric. What even is a kilo? I know. Some of them are like 0.8 to 1 grams per pound of body weight. And then it's like, well, depending on if you're male or female, depending on your activity level. And all it says, like if you read the things, all it says is adjust based on your activity level, but it doesn't tell you how to adjust or how much you need. So some of them have me needing as little as like 90 grams a day and as much as like 140 grams of protein a day. So there are protein need calculators on you can just like Alta Vista it up, look it up on your smartphone, pull it up, put in your information, and depending on how much, like how precise you want to be, there are some like really in-depth ones that you can do. I try to aim for about 120 grams of protein a day, but that's just what works for me. And y'all, I like me some protein. So I'm not going to give you, we've done calculations before. I'm not going to give you a calculation. Y'all just pull up a calculator, do it on there. Can y'all hear this? This thing snoring? Sorry about that. All right, so let's get into our tip. Now that we know why we need protein and y'all are going to figure out how much protein you need, let's talk about how we can add more protein to I almost said to our schedules. No, am I a little stressed about my schedule? Maybe just a little bit. Anyway, how we can add more protein to like our daily intake. First of all, when you're planning what you're going to eat, start with the protein. Plan your protein first on your meals, on your snacks, on your like weekly food plans, all the things. Plan your protein first and build out from there. That way you're sure that you're getting your protein and you're not like putting a whole bunch of other stuff in and then just adding your protein on the end when you're already full or you've already got too much other stuff going on. So start with your protein. Of course, snack on protein. Y'all know I am huge on protein snacks. So meat, I love me a meat snack, eggs, boiled eggs. I just ate 2 boiled eggs. I'm surprised I didn't give myself the hiccups eating boiled eggs. But so either plan a snack that's protein or add protein to the snacks that you already eat. So maybe, and I think I have this down my list because I like saying nut butter, but maybe add a nut butter to something, which unless you're like addicted to the nut butter, like peanut butter, I have to like try to stay away from adding peanut butter to things because then I just want to eat all the peanut butter. But you can add you can add nut butters. You can add like peanut butter. If you're eating an apple, throw some peanut butter, some almond butter, whatever the other nut butters are. Add that to your apple, to your carrot chips, to your bananas, whatever it is. Slap it on a cracker, slap it on a rice cake. Whatever it is that you're eating, you can add nut butters to that. You can add cheese, those Laughing Cow wheels of cheese. Grab you a cheese stick, eat you a cheese stick with your apple. You can add Greek yogurt. You can get fat-free Greek yogurt and either do the plain fat-free Greek yogurt and add your own berries to it, or do the little single-size servings of flavored Greek yogurt. So that's already ready to go. So you can just grab it and either eat that for your snack or add that to your snack. You can add cottage cheese to your snack. So think about ways that you can add protein to snacks that you're already eating. Y'all, I don't do this, so I'm not going to even try to pretend like I know anything in the world about this, but protein powders. Lots of people have success with protein powders. I think that, you know what, I was going to start blah-blahing after I said I'm not going to act like I really don't know anything about protein powders. So there are people who know a lot about protein powders. I am not those people. Remember I made those, was it protein balls, protein bites, whatever they were, energy bites. I don't know, energy balls, I don't know what they were, but I bought protein powder for those. That's the only time I've ever used a protein powder. Not because there's anything wrong with it. I just don't do it. So I don't think about it. Maybe I should. I have that big old bucket of protein powder I bought to make those. I think I needed like 2 tablespoons of protein powder, but it comes in like the bucket. So I have a whole big old bucket of protein powder. Anyway, it is my understanding, and again, I don't know nothing about this, but it's my understanding that you can add protein powder to all kinds of stuff. If you're eating oatmeal, you can throw it on your oatmeal, throw it in your cereal. Of course, smoothies. If you're making smoothies, you're probably already using protein powder. So yeah, protein powder might be a viable option. Again, I know nothing about it. What I do know about is meat. Y'all know I love me some lean meats. So think about ways that you can add lean meat, maybe to things that you're eating that don't have protein. Like throw you some lean meat on it. If you're eating just a green salad, what? Throw you some meat on that. Maybe some, if you've got lean lunch meat, throw some of that on there. Of course, if you got chicken in a can, what are you doing? Throw that in your salad. Or tuna, fabulous in a salad. Of course, shrimp, the imitation crab meat, all of those things are great in a salad. We talked above about adding protein to a snack. An apple with some cheese and a little bit of ham or a little bit of turkey. Delish. So think about ways that you can add lean meat into things that you're already eating where you might not already have protein. While we're doing that, y'all, don't sleep on the seafood. I'm already off my list. This is later down my list, but lean meat reminded me of seafood. I always forget how much I like seafood until I see the big old bag of shrimp in my freezer that I forget is there. Seafood is a great source of protein and omega-3s, and you can get, well, the ones that I buy, you can get in like the easy to cook portions. So think about like salmon, tilapia, tuna, shrimp. You can get those, the shrimps. You can have coconut shrimp, barbecue shrimp. You can get those in flash frozen, like the shrimp flash frozen. So it's like individual shrimps, and the fish you can get flash frozen as like individual fish fillets. So you can just take out however much you need to cook, and like you don't have to commit to that ahead of time. It's just quick to thaw those out and cook them. And of course there's you can get a lot of different seafoods in a can. I think the only seafood in a can I ever eat is tuna. And I can't swear I can't swear anything about the nutritional value of tuna in a can, but the fish that you buy in like the bags at the Walmart, that's flash frozen on the boat. Like they process it there, they flash freeze it, send it to the store, and then you buy it. So at least I find that to be really good. So don't sleep on the seafoods. Y'all get ready to laugh at me. Incorporate legumes. I know, shut up. Incorporate legumes into your diet. And I do a bunch of them. It's lentils that I struggle with. So chickpeas. I mean, of course we do hummus, but you can add chickpeas, you can add lentils, and you can add other beans to stuff for a great source of protein. And like if you add chickpeas to a green salad, now it's not a ton of protein, but if you do it consistently, you will get like a little bit of protein consistently over time, and it adds a nice texture, like a different texture to that salad. If you have just a green salad, throw you some chickpeas in there and then throw some chicken in a can on top. Then you got some real protein going. We're gonna circle back to lentils in a little while, so y'all calm down. You know we love us some high protein dairy, right? So if you're already having dairy, first of all, think about ways that you can sub out your already dairy for higher protein dairy. Like, I don't know when the last time was that I put regular yogurt in my face hole. I always have Greek yogurt. So think about Greek yogurt or cottage cheese instead of regular yogurt or sour cream. I don't ever even buy sour cream anymore unless I'm making something for company. Like if I'm making a dish for company, I'll put actual, but I buy low fat sour cream, but still, I'll put actual sour cream in that instead of Greek yogurt. But if I'm making stuff just for me or even for the intern, I will sneak Greek yogurt in on the intern. Don't tell him. I don't know why this is so far down my list. This should have been item number 1 or number 2, but breakfast, y'all, front load your day with protein. Don't be having a breakfast that you don't have protein in. So think about all the ways you can have protein in your breakfast. You can do lean meats, you can do eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Apparently, you can add protein powder to your oatmeal. Again, I don't know nothing about that, but think about if you're having carbs at breakfast, think about ways that you can either sub in protein, get rid of those carbs, quit eating carbs for breakfast. I'm being judgy. Y'all remember when I thought I was gonna be all whatever and eat oatmeal every day for breakfast because Weight Watchers made it 0 points? I learned my lesson, but I can't be having carbs for breakfast. But think about ways to either get rid of the carbs and have oatmeal instead. I'm obsessed with oatmeal for breakfast. Get rid of the carbs and have protein instead, or just cut down on the carbs and sub you in some protein, even maybe just a couple of days a week. If you still have your oatmeal 4 days a week and do a lean protein breakfast 3 days a week, That's really good. What about seeds? Do the seeds. Pumpkin seeds, flax. Did we do? Oh yeah, we did. We did that flax. Wasn't it flax? No, that was chia seeds. Flax seeds are good. Flax seeds aren't even on my list, but pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, which I read about hemp seeds and then I got a little freaked out. So I'm not going to try these, but apparently they're good and high in protein. So pumpkin seeds are delicious. Chia seeds, we made the chia pudding, right? That was a little interesting, but good. I'm going to work on that and come up with some good stuff for chia pudding. Again, flax seeds. So think about ways that you can use seeds. And again, it's not going to be a ton, but every little bit helps. So, and like pumpkin seeds, toasted, not like already out of the shell. You don't want to be like spitting pumpkin seed shells around. That's gross. But sprinkle them on your salads. If you're eating oatmeal, sprinkle them in your oatmeal. They add like a little crunchy texture. They're delicious and a little bit of protein. All right, this is where seafood is supposed to be in my list, but we already talked about it. So refer above for seafood. And this actually kind of goes back to number 1 too, which was start by planning your protein. Use protein as your base for every meal. Now, it doesn't have to be meat. You can use tofu. You can use, that's the only the only non-meat protein I have in my brain right now. But like yogurt, y'all, how many times, for the longest time, we were eating, and by we, I mean I, was eating non-fat plain Greek yogurt with berries, and I would make like an overnight oats and mix that in. So it was a tablespoon, was it a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of oatmeal that I would put in and let sit overnight with unsweet cocoa powder and monk fruit sweetener. Delicious. And that, I mean, I would eat a big old bowl of that, fill myself right up, all protein, a little bit of oats, little like whole grains in there, but that was all protein. Nary an animal died for all that. I mean, it wasn't vegan, but y'all, we can't go all the way in one step. But anyway, think about protein, like proteins that you can use for the base for every meal, and then build out from there. That was 10, by the way. I actually made a list of 10, and there is a bonus, my bonus tip. Oh, I'm literally the worst because I gave you the bonus like 3 in. It's the nut butters. I just like saying nut butter. My bonus tip is add nut butters for a little bump. So I really wish we could sit outside because it's really nice out there. And there's birds and the trees are orange. It's just nice. But anyway, nut butters. So think about adding, we already talked about this. This is no longer a bonus. Now that, forget it. But anyway, think about adding like places where you can add, if you're not like addicted and you can stop with just a little bit of peanut butter, which I cannot, so I can't do this. But if you're more disciplined than I am, y'all, the intern actually made fun of me because let me tell you what this man did. I'm not even disciplined enough to stay on my own list, but he gives out full-size Snickers bars for Halloween, and he went ahead and bought them because he doesn't want them to sell out and not get his boxes and boxes and boxes of full-size Snickers bars for all the children that come to our house at Halloween. Well, normally he hides them at his like office, like away from the house office until Halloween. Then he brings them home on Halloween day because one of us is a cockroach and can't be trusted. So I come in from working out and he's walking in the house with a box of Snickers bars. And I'm like, what? Why? I said, can you like take those to your office? And he said, yeah, and walks into his office here in the house. And I was like, what? What are you doing? And he's like, ugh, just have a little discipline. Seriously? I about lost my mind. Anyway, y'all, I don't have discipline around peanut butter, let alone a big old box of full-size Snickers bars. I know. Anyway, if you do have discipline around peanut butter, think about places where you can add in like peanut butter or almond butter or something like that to like just sneak it in a little bit here and there. Like if you're eating, like I said, if you're having crackers, throw some peanut butter on it. If you're having we already did this. I'm not going to go over it again. Y'all, I stole my own thunder. All right, that's it. Oh, I do have something interesting, something exciting to tell you. I started us something with some lentils. So I have some soup going. Let me tell you what I did. So I started with bacon. I got my, what I thought was going to be a big enough Dutch oven. It was not. You'll see why in a minute. So I started with my Dutch oven, took it outside, and I sauteed some bacon in it because I didn't want my house to smell like bacon. which it smells really good right now, but I didn't want it to smell like bacon. So sauteed the bacon in the pot outside, brought it inside, took the bacon out of the pot, and then I left all the like bacon junk in it. I just took the bacon out. Then I sauteed, and y'all don't remember the exact order I did this in, but you'll see it. So I sauteed onions, and then once those were going good, I threw in some carrots, cooked those down. And then I think I took out the onions and carrots, yeah, and I threw in a pound of ground turkey, and I cooked that in the bacon drippings. I know, delicious. And then I think I threw in 2 cans of cannellini beans, and then I put back in the onions and the carrots, stirred all that up, threw in a can of petite diced tomatoes, stirred all that up, threw in some diced garlic or some minced garlic, like the garlic from the jar, some chicken better than bouillon, some rosemary, some thyme, and some basil. At some point, so I chopped up the bacon, and at some point I threw, it's like half a pound of bacon. It's probably too much bacon, but I don't care. It looks delicious. At some point I threw that back in. I put in half a cup of red lentils because I read, let's see what I did there. I read that if you get the red, like that the red lentils already have like the husks or the hulls or whatever off of them, and that they're like a smoother, it comes out smoother if you cook with those, and they cook faster. So threw in half a cup of red lentils, and then I dumped in about 4 cups of water, stirred it up, let it boil, put the lid on it, and it's over there cooking now. And y'all, I'm about ready to give that a taster. So I'm gonna break these puppies' hearts when I stand up from here, but let me go. I will show you what that looks like, and then we'll give it a taster, all right? So give me a minute, let me rouse these felons, and we'll meet you over in the kitchen. Friends, we have soup. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. All right, hang on, let me get a bowl. All right, y'all, let's give this a taster. Check this out. Oh, that looks good. Look at those big old chunks. So there's big chunks of, that's turkey, of course. There's the white beans. I think those little dots of things floating around, I think that's the lentils. There's some carrots, bacon. All right, hang on. Let me get a big old scoop of this, and we'll give her a taster. You set it down. It's gonna be hot. Oh, that's hot. It's very good though. Bacon gives it a really good flavor. I don't taste I put that chicken better than bouillon in it. I don't taste that at all. I taste bacon, and those seasonings was a game time decision. I was like, oh, what should I throw in here? Very tasty, very, very tasty. It's heating up right straight through this bowl. But yeah, it's like smoky, bacony. A little beany, but not overly so. It's very good. I very much enjoy it. It was supposed to be more of a bean soup, but I wanted some protein. So I threw in some more protein. I threw in that pound of turkey, which at first I didn't know if it was going to be too much, but I think it's good. I think that is a good distribution of stuff. So friends, that's it. Those are my thoughts on protein. Let us know in the comments. What do you do to make sure you get as much protein as you need in a day? Let us know. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you made it all the way through this slightly ranty day, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos over here at the beginning of every week, with some book videos over on Fit Danielle Reads sprinkled in between, and now I'm doing devotional videos every morning over on Fit Danielle Prays. So if I don't catch on one of those, I'll see you on the next one.